Welcome to the MadTech Podcast from ExchangeWire, bringing you the latest news and views from the world of ad tech, media, and marketing.
Hello and welcome to the MadTech Podcast. Hope you all had a great Christmas and start to the new year. I'm here today with our head of content, John Still. Welcome, John.
Thank you for having me back.
Good to have you here. And our COO, Lindsay Rowntree. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hello. Happy New Year.
We're all in a bit of a laughing mood. So
because of the shit show that's come before this.
Yep.
Yeah, some technical difficulties.
Let's say that, yeah.
Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah.
Let's say that. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So we've got a different type of episode for you today. We're going to be doing a quiz covering some of the biggest recent ad tech events. We'll be looking at AI, ad fraud, Google, of course, cookies, and Netflix's bid for Warner Bros. So we're going to start with the biggest chatbot that's impacted pretty much everything over the past few years. So, okay, get your whiteboards ready.
Excellent.
It's very exciting.
Been watching a lot of House of Games over Christmas, so I feel inspired by the quiz edition today.
I believe you mean Richard Osman's House of Games.
I do, sorry, to give it its full
title. Please name it
title.
correctly, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, Lindsay and John have got some whiteboards here, so it'd be best if you're watching the video version for this. So, okay, everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay, so how many total monthly visits does ChatGPT have?
Visits.
Total visits.
Yep. Oof. And this is data for November 2025.
I don't know where to start because I mean, how many? Like, okay, I'm going to think about myself as a person. I use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Fair amount. Let's say 10 times a day on
And
average.
that puts you probably in like,
A high category?
I don't know. I was going to say
How much do you use it? Do you,
probably a similar amount, and I wouldn't consider myself a power user particularly, but
Aimee, do you use it?
Yeah, but I don't use it actually as much as either of you do.
okay.
Yeah, I use it to try and work out how to keep my baby alive. So I guess maybe I'm a bit of a higher user than most because everything is like, will this kill my baby? Is this safe for my baby? So maybe parents skew it quite a lot. Parents and hypochondriacs, I imagine, are the ones that use it the most.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
I'm both, so great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have a family with 2 children and hypochondria. I suppose we might be high users actually.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Okay. It's also like it's global. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I have an answer.
Okay, reveal your answers. And if you could just say as well.
3 billion is my answer.
3.2 billion.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
And the answer is 5.8 billion.
5.8. That is a
That
surprise.
is a lot, isn't it? I don't know. After a billion, everything feels like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's according to similar web data for November 2025.
It's very recent as well.
Well, that is a shock. But yeah, higher than I could possibly have imagined.
You've won the point there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we doing points? I'm assuming. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be a winner. What kind of quiz is that? A winner?
Okay,
Unbelievable.
John wins.
Right.
First point then.
It's not a good start.
Yeah, so just on that topic there, what do you both make of how the AI landscape has been evolving? And over the past year, I guess, of over 2025, last year.
It's so interesting because, like, you know, talking just now about kind of how we both use it, how we all use it, it's taking everything by storm. It's changing everything. And the way that everyone's talking from an industry perspective is going to completely transform ad tech and advertising and media buying. And I don't doubt that it will, but I am so curious as to what's going to happen in the next 12 months because often there's a lot of hyperbole around these things and a lot of people will talk things up before they actually start kind of gaining traction. I mean, you know, things like GDPR. If I think about 10 years GDPR, kind of how long that took to actually kind of for people to actually act, do something about it. The cookie, for crying out loud. I mean, I wonder how much of an impact it will actually have. And Brian Weezer at Madison and Wall, he wrote his latest post about just this, and he doesn't believe that it will impact media spend, ad spend, as much as everyone would have you believe. So I'm very, very curious.
Yeah, it's I mean, the evolution has been incredibly fast over the past year. Like the growing power of the machines and what they can do is fascinating. And you and I have just said that we probably ask various chat programs 10 times a day a question, which is fair, and it's not an overestimate, which shows how much they've changed stuff over the year. But in terms of ad tech, and I thought that Brian Weezer piece was really, really interesting, because I think we are, as an industry, addicted to the shiny new thing, to chasing the cat and the laser pointer, as columnist Shirley Marshall put it, which I loved. But yeah, I think the industry's in the back end of last year has been in danger of wishing it upon us too quickly, rather than taking a nuanced view and taking a breath and working out exactly how it could be used. There's a desire for it to change everything, as there always is. But that point that it might not influence media spend as much as we thought is super interesting going into a new year as well.
It definitely is. I mean, there's obviously no doubt that it is already having huge impacts, particularly to publishers and to anyone that publishes any kind of content. That applies to brands as well, because they obviously are huge content engines, and it makes you wonder how it will affect where media spend goes over the course of the next, I'd say 5 years rather than 12 months, but it does make you wonder exactly kind of how it will be distributed and what a media plan looks like going forward. I think that's going to be interesting. And obviously it's impacting publishers, and we're a publisher, like we're not blind to it. We know it's affecting, we are seeing a drop in traffic, as everyone is, but what we're seeing and what we're hoping other people will see is a rise in engagement and a rise in quality, and where attention span is going on one side, people are actively still seeking out long form quality content on the other side. And that's where some publishers will win, other publishers need to diversify, as we're seeing us doing. We're seeing kind of our cohorts in this space do the same thing as well, and we're seeing some of the big sort of news publishers do the same thing. They're going to have to, or they're going to close. And I think that's going to be the challenge, is what publishing looks like. But publishing has always had to go through evolution. So this is another step in that phase for them. Not a great one, but it's something they're going to have to deal with, because it's not going away.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a great one for 20 years or so. It's just been battle after battle after battle for publishers. So this is the latest in a long line of challenges. But yeah, like you say, I personally really like the idea of the kind of less reliance on the high vanity metrics of visits, and compared to engagement, compared to the people who are coming to your site to read what you are publishing and sticking with it, and because they're interested, much better than people who are bouncing by accident and still being counted as a vanity click for your deck. So yeah, it could, publishers will have to think on their feet, and they'll have to work out how to communicate this to buyers and to advertisers. But yeah, I'm positive that good can come of it.
Yeah.
Positive. Yeah. You seem positive. Yeah.
It's New Year, New Me, isn't it?
New Year, New John.
Yeah, that's it. I'll be wearing something colourful next week. Then the world will end.
Don't push it now. Don't push it.
Much more positive, but we're going to be talking about Meta soon. So
it's all going downhill.
It's going to get negative soon, very soon. So yeah, we are moving on to Meta for our next question.
Great.
So how much money did Meta make in 2024 from fraudulent ads?
Oh no, you see, I feel like I did know this number, because we talked about it on the podcast and I was on that episode, so I should know this. I can't remember it.
It's hard to remember the exact figures for things.
Yeah, it really is. Everything just... There's too many figures around.
I think I can remember the percentage, but not what that equates to.
I think the same. Yeah. I think I can remember the percentage. I could be wildly off though. Right. Figure.
Okay, reveal your answers. And if you can say your answers as well.
$150 million.
$10 billion.
Okay. So the answer was, so according to Meta's own internal documents, it expected to make 16 billion US dollars. 16 billion.
Okay.
US dollars. Equivalent to just over 12 billion pounds.
Well, your belief in Meta and their money making on fraud was, you've given them a lot of credit there.
I really have. What was I thinking? They make that in about 3 minutes.
I thought I was being cynical. It turns out not cynical enough, almost by half.
I need to have my head in shame, I think, because that's actually, I'm looking at it now going, what a ridiculously low number.
You've gone low.
That was low. To them as well. I shouldn't be giving them credit.
No. Well, I thought 10 billion was high and cynical, but no.
Yeah, I mean, that would even still be high, but their figure is just super
That's
high.
a lot of money.
It was what again? 16 billion?
16 billion US dollars or 12 billion pounds.
Insane.
Wow. Well, I'll take the point, but I'm stunned.
Yeah, well, you definitely deserve the point. Yeah. I was a little out, a little way off, tiny little touch away from what the actual answer was. It's going well for Lindsay so far. Yeah. Happy 2026.
And touching on the topic there, how big of a problem do you think ad fraud is?
Well, apparently much bigger than I originally than I thought. So
I guess how serious of a problem?
I mean, it is serious. But for them, I remember the conversation now, me and Nicole Perez were talking about it, and it was, for them, it is not a rounding error, but it's small in comparison to what they are actually generating. And ad fraud is obviously still a huge problem. It's a massive, massive problem, and probably an under-realised, under-talked problem. Under-talked? That's not a phrase. But it's not talked about as much as it should be. And I think that a lot of it gets brushed under the carpet. And the fact that Facebook can come out and say that they had $16 billion in fraud last year, and there not really be that much of a reaction, sort of tells you where we're kind of at when it comes to fraud, I would say.
Yeah. I think what struck me when the story came out was that it's not just that it's happening and that Meta are kind of not doing anything about it. Is that they're kind of actively welcoming it because they just charge people more money for advertising when it's fraudulent and it's scam ads. Like, they have like a penalty cost on it, which, that's not kind of shutting down anything. That's just opening the floodgates and making more cash from it, which is a massive issue and a huge problem for genuine advertisers on that platform. I think you're right. Like, that's, the fact it's a drop in the ocean to them anyway, and the fact that it's kind of not being talked about more, under-talked, I liked.
Under-talked.
It's being under-talked, downplayed, under-talked.
Is that what I was thinking of? That is what I'm thinking of, yeah.
Maybe not, but
God.
No, it's like, it's a bit shameful, really, that it's not more of an issue. And that's something, let's hope to see that change in the coming year. But I suppose
the point was, and I can't remember percentage either, it was a small percentage of all of the revenue they're getting through advertising. It is genuinely a small percentage, and they have done a lot, and I suppose are still doing a lot to try to combat fraud. As you say, they're rewarding it in some way as well, which is the concern. But yeah, I think when the news came out, I suppose it was supposed to highlight how prevalent fraud is. I don't think it really did that, because a lot of people were just like, well, everyone's got fraud. Like, imagine if Google released their number, and imagine if any platform released their number. We'd be shocked by all of it, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
And Meta actually released it, so could sort of fair play to them in that regard. But yeah, I think fraud will continue to be an issue, absolutely. And there'll just be new ways of, with AI coming to the fold, and what will look like advertising on AI platforms, whatever that will look like, will bring about a whole new type of fraud. Like, fraudsters are clever. They will always find new ways to kind of dupe the system and game the system. How will they do it on AI platforms is my big question.
More quickly.
More quickly, yeah. They'll use AI to write code to run fraud across AI.
Yeah, exactly. Hyper-personalised fraud at scale is what we can expect from the AI engines, I think.
Oh, God.
That's quite terrifying, isn't it?
Grim.
Yeah, I wonder how that will all end up looking. I guess within the next year, there's already going to be so much change. And
yeah, definitely.
Frightening.
Yeah, it is frightening.
It's a really miserable quiz.
Yes, it's gone. It's the opposite of what we intended with our light-hearted fun quiz to start the year.
So now we're going to be looking at cookie deprecation, which came to an end last year, following many years of uncertainty. So when did Google first announce cookie deprecation? That is your next question.
Oh, no. Oh
this
my
is
God.
Good. Are we looking for a year, a month and a year?
As exact as you want to be, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I'll give double point if you get the month and the year.
Okay.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I guess for the standard point is just the the year?
I'm going in.
Right, I'll go for,
Okay, if you can both reveal your answers.
I've got March 2019.
on August 2020.
Ooh, okay, so it was 2020.
I knew it.
It was January 2020.
I knew it.
January.
And I knew
Wow.
it because I remember when lockdown started and we started recording podcasts virtually. To the MadTech Podcast, anyone that has been a long time listener, remember those virtual episodes, the early ones. I remember talking about it with people then, and we started that literally March. So I was like, well, it's definitely happened before March 2020. I just wasn't sure how much before. Had they first talked about it way earlier, and then it started really coming into fruition and people getting scared about it by that point, or was it literally that people were talking about it, that they talked about it bang on just before lockdown? Because lockdown became an excuse for it not happening immediately and then having it delayed. So that's annoying. I'm doing so well at this quiz.
You're actually closer than me, I think. If it was January 2020,
wait, what was-
Nope, I'm 8 months out. You're 9 months out.
yeah.
Oh, good. Another point.
Yeah.
I'll give you both a point for that then. 'Cause it's almost
Close enough.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I was working back from 2022 because it was my ExchangeWire interview task was to write a piece on Privacy Sandbox. So I was trying to work out how long that had been established before 2022. So I thought a couple of years, but my word, we've been talking about this for 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
hard.
bad,
That's
isn't
mad.
it?
Wow.
A long time.
January 2020.
Oh my God. Yeah. God, time in this industry just is a vortex.
Yeah.
It's my 10-year anniversary at ExchangeWire, everyone.
Wow.
So yeah. Really feels like nothing's changed.
No.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah. But now we've got AI.
Taking a bit of a wider look there, just kind of zooming out on Google, what do you make of last year for Google and kind of everything that happened? And so, because Google was involved in so much last year.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard not to talk about Google and the court cases that were going on, and Google versus the DOJ was initially a huge thing, and then was a bit of a damp squib for me in the verdict. Nothing happened really. So I don't know, Google, in light of what could have been in terms of a breakup of Google, in terms of what measures could have been put in place when the monopoly ruling was made, they've got off very, very, very lightly. So they had a pretty good 2025, I think, all things concerned.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that it's just not what anyone was expecting. But then again, as with the way the industry talks and there being a lot of hyperbole around things, everyone was expecting and everyone was talking up a big game, this is it for Google, it's going to be the end of them, everything, they're going to have to divest Chrome and divest this and break up that. But if you kind of came away from the noise, and I've got something in my throat, so I'm going to just choke for a second. You came away from the noise and looked at sort of what, legal advisors and lawyers that have been working in this industry for a long time or working in that side of things for a long time were saying. They all said, this feels about right. This is what we sort of expected to happen. So I think that Google did get off scot-free based on what we wanted to happen to them, because we believe that they've been basically bringing the industry down for the past at least 10 years. But from a legal standpoint and legal perspective, what happened to them was probably about just and fair, which still seems ridiculous because so much more could have happened. And there's no kind of sort of big conversation around, well, there's still got this coming, this will land, this will come to them at some point. It's okay, the ruling's happened, that's sort of it now, and Google can just kind of go off into the sunset and live their lives. And I think that's annoyed a lot of people. But Google are now not quite as much in the headline. In the past few months, they've not been in the headlines, at all, really. There's not much going on with them. They've just kind of gone under the radar for a bit. They're right, it's been a tough year for us. Let's go quiet for a bit. Let's go under the radar and let's go and build loads of stuff. Well, they don't build stuff, do they? But buy loads of stuff. And then we'll come out with all guns blazing in 2026.
Yeah.
Do you think 2026 will be a more quiet year for them then, or not? What do you think is going to happen?
I think so. The major suits, the DOJ suits, haven't really yielded much in terms of measures or punishments for Google. But they are now legally branded a monopoly, which has actually opened up room for a fair few civil cases that ad tech companies are bringing.
Yeah.
Which, you know me, I'm throw the book at them. I am break them up and throw the book at them school. But I recognise that won't happen. And measures, like, all it has done is open up room for ad tech companies to kind of take them to court and get their piece from them. They have monopolised the industry for the last 2 decades. And now companies can say that with legal backing and get compensation on it. So that won't be as, it's not as headline making for anyone outside of our, for us it's great. And I'm very much looking forward to covering the cases as they go on. But they will, headlines wise, have a much quieter year. But I think in the background, some of the ad tech cases against them will be really tasty.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think they'll have in the background, there'll be a lot of litigation going on with all the ad tech companies you mentioned, because there's a lot of lawsuits out there among individual ad tech companies. We've talked about a lot of them and what they're bringing against Google over the sort of past few months. I think you're right. I think that they will shy away from doing anything too drastic because they have to be in the background dealing with this first. And also, the industry is changing a lot beyond an area they exist in, and I think they're still probably coming to terms with what that looks like too. And so with everything going on with AI, I reckon that will be their focus rather than anything really kind of on the sort of advertising side of things. So that I think, again, it could be quieter for them.
Yeah.
Quieter from a headline perspective, but they'll be busy squirreling away.
Oh yeah, they'll be fattening the golden goose of YouTube, I imagine. And I think that's going to be a big, it's a big talking point for this year.
YouTube is there. YouTube is absolutely, it's incredible what YouTube is yielding them. And that's going to be a massive, massive thing for them this year. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, amongst all that, they just casually cancelled cookie deprecation that we've been talking about apparently since January 2020.
It was very chill. Yeah. Hey guys, we thought, I had to think, not going to do it anymore. Yeah, there you go. Like, enjoy.
Yeah,
Privacy Sandbox was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah, we decided just like, we can't do it. So up to you, use cookies or not.
Yeah.
It is like being in an abusive relationship with Google, though, isn't it? Because like you kind of think, oh my god, what are they going to do now? Like, what mood they're going to be in? Like, oh, it's going to be horrible. They're going to do this. That's really nice of them. I like that. Thank you so much. That's really kind. That's really helped boost my business. I really appreciate it. And then the next day they come in with a thwack of like something else insane that they're going to completely decimate your business, and then they sort of you kind of go, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Oh, next year. Okay, I can deal with that. Actually, we're bringing it forward 6 months. Oh my god. Actually, no, we decided we're going to do it 18 months. We're also going to do this amazing thing for you as well. And you don't know where you stand with them, and that's part of the power they have, is they are able to manipulate you so much.
Yep.
Yeah, there was so much uncertainty there with all the dates, and just, it was always kind of, even when something's announced, you think, well, is that going to happen? What are they going to announce instead? Yeah,
exactly.
Back and forth.
But they need to be careful, because they will start kind of being a bit like the boy who cried wolf, and people will just go, whatever, okay. And then when something weird is going to happen, no one's ready for it at all, because they've done this to them so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if at some point soon there'll be another huge announcement that they'll make that will shake things up.
Yeah. John looks like he's chewing a wasp. He really does. He really loves Google.
It's just how you describe that relationship. It's just dead on. It's just like, the industry, and we spent a lot of time talking about the cookieless future. It was key at lots of different industry events, lots of think pieces, loads of panel discussions. And I think the key takeaway for the industry should be, it's not quite the boy cried wolf, but it's that back yourself, make your own business kind of Google proof. Yeah. The privacy should have been a key issue long before it was. The over-reliance on the cookie bit everyone in the arse when Google first of all pulled the rug and then didn't pull the rug. And dancing to that tune, I hope that the industry will have learned from that. That's what I was chewing over in my mind, was like, we should not be relying on this. It's been the lifeblood for so long, and it's been the oil that greases the advertising wheel for such a long time. Needs to find a way of operating independently and just backing yourself, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think that also goes against, to a degree, we've talked a bit about platform-based technology, the PBTs, and I think that is where, annoyingly, it plays into the hand of all the walled gardens. But that is where kind of a lot of ad tech is going, is how do you operate and function alongside them rather than trying to go against them, because it's not necessarily, with the world of AI, with the world of kind of what the future of the open web looks like, which is, murky. What does a PBT look like versus what any company that works within the open web looks like makes it. That's going to be interesting, I think, in the next 12 months. What that looks like is going to be very, very interesting. Like, how will companies position themselves? What will they focus on? Will they go after working alongside? And it's better to work with, keep your friends close, keep your enemy close. No, wait. Yeah, keep your friends close, keep enemies closer. Will there be a bit of that going on maybe when it comes to how, where ad tech companies seek out revenue this year?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it develops. Yeah.
Definitely.
And now for our last question of today's quiz. We're looking at a very recent story, the battle for Warner Bros. Discovery.
Ooh,
so
I'm going to screw this all up as well.
How much did Netflix bid for Warner Bros? And this is the enterprise value figure bid, which is the one that was reported by the FT.
Excellent. I should know this. It's one of my favourite stories of last year. But it was lots and lots.
A big figure.
No, who was that?
Oh, I just don't know. Remember. Okay. Oh, I'm going to lose this quiz. I've already lost. The quiz. What's the point? What's the point in anything?
January started with a bang. January 2026. What's the fucking point?
Okay,
Right.
reveal your answers.
70 billion.
Oh, 70 billion.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Were we correct?
It was 83 billion US dollars. That was the enterprise value, and that's equivalent to around 61 billion pounds. And then the equity value, which was the figure reported by the BBC and some other publishers, was 72.
That
billion.
must be
what you're...
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Oh, point each.
Great.
Yay.
Yes.
So can we expect Netflix to close the deal?
I hope they can close the deal. I hope they can. I think that while the amount that they were offered versus Ken Dunn, Logan Roy, David and Larry Ellison, was obviously less favourable from a kind of like a total amount perspective. It was obviously not stocks and shares. It was cold hard cash in their deal. And also, please don't give more stuff to Oracle. So I think that what Warner Brothers really want is Netflix. And I think that they could, it could be more, it should be much more symbiotic. And so I think that's I think we should be hopefully confident in this.
Yeah. It's funny because when I think about it, I want Netflix to win. I want them to buy Warner Brothers.
But why do we? Because are they any better?
Not really. And there's a lot of questions to be asked about the future of cinema around that, because Warner Brothers is obviously a huge studio for releasing in actual cinemas, whereas Netflix from the outset would have liked that not to be an experience. They want you to be on their platform totally.
They want films to be in cinemas for 17 days, I think is the number I read. Okay. And then after that it gets pulled and it goes to the Netflix platform or any platform. That's their view on cinemas.
17 days.
Yeah.
Feel like there's probably going to be compromise there.
Possibly.
But that's more than, some people are thinking it's just the end of cinemas completely for Warner Brothers properties.
Yeah.
And I think Netflix are smarter than to want to bring an end to that completely, because a lot of people get a lot of joy from going to the cinema. It's one of the only genuinely phone-free, quiet experiences of entertainment that's left, and I think it should be cherished. But it's part of me, I think I am put off by the Ellisons, like you say, the Logan Roy bullishness of them just going straight to the shareholders and saying, right, I'm just going to say the highest number and take you out from the source.
Or just pick any number out of the sky.
Rather than going through the bidding process that was officially won by, preferred bidder Netflix.
Exactly.
And I think that makes me want Netflix to win. I know that they are not the Cinderella story here. This is not like rags to riches. This is another huge
David
corporation.
Yeah,
it's, it is not that at all. But there's, I wonder what the US administration is going to think about the deal and how that's going to play out with the Ellison's closeness to the relation to the to the higher officers of the United States. But no, I do hope that Netflix get it, and I'd like to see what they do with it.
But ultimately, aren't all of these companies just competing against YouTube?
Yeah.
So if Netflix feel like, Netflix trying to bring podcasting to their platform as well, like that's going to be the big thing, is them competing against YouTube. And I think Netflix know that, and YouTube haven't got movies. They don't produce stuff. They, it's all UGC. So what are Netflix trying to do? Do they know?
Yeah, it's interesting
because they're kind of going after a lot of different things at once. It's like throwing stuff at the wall, something at the wall, and hoping it will stick.
Yeah, they are. I think maybe that's their play, is the prestige. Having Warner Brothers as a studio involved in Netflix, that's like the quality assurance, really.
Yeah.
Compared to YouTube, which is UGC, incredibly popular, but ultimately an awful lot of UGC quantity rather than the quality. So maybe Netflix are realizing they cannot, they don't want to recreate that as a platform. So they go for the prestige filmmaking, the in cinema experience for a few days before hitting the platform. But it's that, Apple TV are doing quality on an amazing budgets and doing really interesting stuff. So Netflix they're not competing with Apple TV. I don't think Apple competes in that sphere.
No, I don't, because Apple have got the budget to create, as you say, amazing quality stuff, but they're not really getting the traction from it.
It's a loss leader for phones.
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, exactly.
But it is, Netflix, like you say, podcasting, quality studio from Warner Brothers. Going into puzzles. I like the Netflix
gaming,
puzzles.
the puzzles app. Yes, that's quite enjoyable.
Gaming, which is important to them as well. So maybe Warner Bros. For Netflix is their differentiator from YouTube. It is the quality and the prestige.
Yeah, we'll have to see what 2026 brings.
Yeah, lots of things to watch.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for taking part in the quiz. John, well done for winning.
Yes, I mean,
whatever, hollow victory.
But well done to both contributors.
I'd love to play it cool, but I am delighted to have won.
And I was on maternity leave for a large chunk of last year, so that's why I have done so poorly today.
Yes, my hand-picked competitor who was out of the industry for 8 months.
Yeah, when you said fancy doing a quiz, I was like, great idea. And I was like, hang on a second. I know what he's doing here.
No, you've both done well, though. Thank you.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And thanks to all our listeners. We'll be back next week.
You've been listening to the MadTech Podcast, brought to you by ExchangeWire.